Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the Wolf, and this is just a general share advice and not personal advice. And welcome to Equities Story, and great to have the amazing Wolf with us. And Wolfie, just a little bit of IGL, hot stock. 2 weeks ago, it's up 13%, 14%. Take a profit. Reason being, had a little bit of a push by another similar business to Equities Story. I think, at the end of the day, what happens, everyone jumps in, doesn't it? When especially it's a much bigger company than Equities Story. And I think, take a profit. If you can make 13% in 2 weeks, good money.
Agree. And look, this is the thing, it's not going on fundamentals at the moment, although the fundamentals are pretty good. It's just been a bit of a push by another website, which is good because, we're in it. If you're in it, take a profits. Other than that, if you're in it for the dividends, hold on.
Well, if we had some sort of little trading ideas, and I think we targeted TLX $7. I mean, listen, it's hit it. That's been a really strong 10 or 15% pretty quickly. I think it was trading.
Dave, I would not be hesitating to take a profit on this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you just gotta, this is a sort of market. You just gotta take profits, and I think a classic example of that was obviously Whitehaven. Had the mother of all buy signals, great chart, Wolf. I still think it's going higher, but it had its run up 650, up a nice little 10%. Well, take a profit. This market is a market of when you get your moves, you got to take your profits, shake yourself off, go and have a shower, come back on Monday, and do it all over again. It's that sort of market at the moment. And again, same with NHC. You see, the profit takers are coming in pretty quickly, generally speaking, right? Very, very tough. You got to be on the ball in this market. You got to get in, take your profit. Don't be greedy. We often say that. Don't be greedy. Yep. Never has there been such a market of not just don't be greedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, like, just TLX is a great case. 1.5 days. There you go. You're 10, 13%. Take it now. Move on.
All right, Wolf. A few stories. So,
yep.
We're seeing this bounce in tech stocks.
In
America. You obviously got MFG. It's found a little bit of a base down here. And I'm going to click it to the daily because we're looking at these daily. So you might have a little bit of a trade in this one, Wolf. We spoke about this earlier. You like the fact that this story is very, very highly geared towards the tech stories. So what a great way to play this the rise in the tech space in the US.
Yeah, look, the thing is because they've kept the mandate of just holding steady with it, and unfortunately they sub it because of it. But there's a positive side to that. Is there is a recovery, they're going to go with it. So possibly when we see this tech stock, and we're playing some of these obviously little tech stocks, you could see this recover to 15, 16, 17, even $20 quite easily, right? If you have a bit of a month of sustained US tech stock recovery, you could see that move up very quickly.
And Wolf, the issues in Europe aren't going away, are they? And I think you're seeing more and more funds getting out of Europe, going into America, which possibly could just help that US market and help some of these tech stocks just recover a little bit. So MFG, wonderful idea, Wolf. And really, you've got stop losses. I mean, if you wanted to go really, really tight, you could go sort of around 13, maybe 13.45, or give it a little bit more leeway and go for that 13. Needs to hold that 13.20.
Agree. Look, this could be a very interesting play.
Great idea, Wolf. Good thinking, Batman. A few stories that came out today. CRN. Wolf, really, really, really disappointing price action. The market was obviously expecting more out of this company. And, you look at those technicals, and unfortunately, why would you be in that when you've got other stories? I mean, saying that maybe you'd be in it for a dividend play. I mean, they're still going to keep their dividends pretty strong. So, but certainly technically looking very, very, very weak at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's interesting, isn't it? It's not, like I said, many times over, that's not everything is the same in a given space. So you got to pick the right stories that's going to go up, like your WHCs and NHC. even though we've traded CRN a number of times, there's this weakness on it, and the market's just not happy with what they're seeing, just not enough for them. They want more. Okay, well, fair enough. Well, let's not be in this. Let's move on to the others, and let's give this one to someone else to play with.
Precisely. COG came out of an announcement, Wolf, fairly strong. Nice looking chart, I must say. And actually not far off a little buy signal. Good chart, Wolf. Definitely a real contender for Einstein's, and possibly at least get maybe target 170, 180. Certainly very, very tradable, Wolf.
Yeah, there's not many companies on ASX lately that can grow quite nicely and be profitable at the same time. And this is one of them. It's not my cup of tea, unfortunately, because it's in the financial space. We just read Rising, and they're in the leasing, lending space. So God knows what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months. There might be some impact on this, so I don't want to take a chance. However, it's still tradable, no doubt, with a little bit higher risk. And when you look at the numbers, the fundamentals of this, it's trading on 20 times with an 8.5% yield. So all in all, there is stuff in this that you're going to have to like about this, especially the fundamentals, and probably you're going to see the chart.
And Wolf, look at the price action. It hasn't failed. One of the few stories on our market that hasn't broken trend on a weekly. Very impressive.
Exactly. So while I'm not liking the actual business of it, everything else looks pretty good.
Wolf, BKW, Brickworks.
Yes.
It's popping back a little bit. They have put an announcement out today. What was in that?
Just updating everyone that things are going still very well. I mean, they said that the joint venture with Goodman's going well. The property space is going quite well. The actual business in America is going quite well. So, it's almost like what recession, what troubles, what other issues. I mean, it's almost like there is nothing for BKW that's to stop them. So the market's sort of liking that response. And when you look at it, Dave, 4 times PE, dividend yield of 4.4. I think maybe that you can make a case that it probably doesn't matter if there's a recession or not. It's so cheap that it still should hold up reasonably well. So if you, by any chance, if you didn't sell last month because of that chart that looked maybe quite poor, I suppose you can make a case to stay in there. Would I be buying it? Again, I love the story. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I mean, with these issues at the moment, even though it's cheap, maybe I just want to wait till the reporting season and take it from there.
Fair play, Wolf. The good news, Wolf, we're starting to see the market. It's a little bit still obviously very, very weak, but we are starting to see this recovery, and we are starting to see the market start to trend a little bit, which is good, right? We're starting to see stocks go on with it, and certainly, there's a few on Einstein's. I think if I have a look at this little LYL, looking very, very good on the charts, and I think went through that buy signal absolutely beautifully. MFD doesn't look too bad at all. I think APA is still holding in there, and certainly hasn't gone this week, but could go next week. We saw obviously Whitehaven and New Hope have some nice moves, and CGF sort of work its way slowly. I actually quite like that little CGF, Wolf, for a move up to that 762 level.
It's in the right space at the moment, right? Rising interest rate.
What's that? There's 10% there. I mean, this is what you're looking for, isn't it? These nice little moves. Good to see. Obviously, we've been liking ResMed for the last few weeks, Wolf, and CSL. We put on 2 weeks ago. I still think that chart looks very good. MPL doesn't look bad. Maybe have a little bit more into it. MYX is an interesting one, Wolfie, because there's something to like about this. I mean, you might. I'd be interested to see. This has been a real dog, this story. And remember, we actually quite liked it in the early days. We saw some. The story had some possibilities. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
And but it's been a terrible performer. But it's on its lows. It's bounced back up. That price action is quite good on the weekly. you've got a nice little stop loss on here, really, buying at 33, target 40, maybe a stop loss just under 30, 29. Yeah, interesting. I think EDV, very, very impressive. I think it's one of the few buy signals, that's gone through it absolutely beautifully. Let's have a look at Oz4X. That was looking bullish and still looking, I think, very, very good to go higher. I'd be holding on that one. HFR going through that bullish signal quite nicely. YAL hasn't gone, but for me, that's still a hold. SNL, very lightly traded this one, Wolf, so you got to be careful, but I do still like that chart. No problems with that. Some more of the high-risk ones, SOP, had a little bit of move up. You got to be careful of these very lightly traded, high-risky stocks. I mean, PVE looks like a sell. I'd be getting out of that one. OSL, sort of moving up quite nicely, isn't there? Maybe a bit of resistance at 68. So if I was up 5-6% on that one, I'd be taking a profit. NAM, yeah, fade. Still a hold. CLX, yeah, it's sort of had its move up, but definitely still a hold when you look at that chart. KYK, some risky stuff here, and AMO. What's little AMO doing? It's had a move. I think if you're in these little ones and you're up 5-6%, a lot of risk in them, Wolf, and I'd be making sure I take profits on all of them. But good. But obviously, trending stocks have been a real no-go for the last sort of month and a half. But it's good to see, Wolf, isn't it? The market just starting to this recovery. A few stories just starting to trend a little bit.
Yeah, starting to settle. Finding some bottoms and having a bit of a bounce, which is a first sign of stability.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Wolfie, there's a warning that you want to say. Things like GNC.
Yep.
So we're a little bit concerned at the moment.
I
think there's a few issues at the moment. You've got possibly, whether you believe the Russia, Ukraine, they're looking to get some sort of agreement together. I find this really weird. They're fighting, but they're going to put an agreement together to help the Ukrainians sell their wheat. I don't believe it, Wolf, to be honest with you. But it could hit the sentiment of some of these type of stories like Grain Corp and I think you've got to be careful. Again, foot and mouth is at our doorstep. I mean, they reckon it could hit our industry by about $80 billion, the Australian economy, if foot and mouth get in here. And I think really, you look at RIC,
Elders. Look at Elders getting absolutely hammered.
Yeah,
sort of thing, right?
I think you've got to get out of all these, Wolf. Honestly, you can't risk it. Elders, just got to get out of them. AAC, sorry, Andrew, Mr. Forrest, I know you just bought a lot of it, but I think you can't risk it. You've got to get out of these stories. If let's hope obviously foot and mouth doesn't get here, but I think if it does, Wolf,
you're gonna have your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, definitely. Or if we don't get you out of these stories, you're going to have your foot in our mouths.
That's correct.
Which will be even worse. So we don't want to, we've had that a few times. So me and Wolf are fed up of having people's foot in our mouths. So definitely.
But the thing is, it's interesting you mentioned about this Russia, Ukraine, grain, the wheat stuff. I mean, I think when you think about it, there's a lot of pressure, probably from China and the other allies saying, come on, Russia, it's not just you guys, it's affecting this wheat thing, it's affecting everyone globally, right? So at least do that, let it out, because we don't want our own people suffering as well. So if it was just, Europe suffering, they wouldn't give a crap, they would just do it. But because it's the whole world is suffering, especially their allies like China and probably Iran and some of the others, they need to do something about it. That's why I think they had to take the step of doing some sort of a deal with Ukraine.
All right, Wolf, we've got, I think, one good idea for today. We only need one good idea. And I think that idea really is MFG, buying it off that daily chart. Yep. And again, you can have a tight little stop loss just under 14 or give a little bit of leeway just under that $13, maybe $13.10, somewhere around there. Okay. On that note, Wolf, was there anything else you want to talk about before we get ready to do live in about an hour?
No, look, I'm just very happy with this week's performance of the tech stocks. I mean, we set ourselves up. We really put our neck on the line saying we're going to have a little bit of a bounce in the tech stocks. Let's make some money. So far, fingers crossed, it's playing out that way. So, but if you are making some profits in some of these tech stocks, you saw the TLX, which is not a tech stock, but at least it's done the same sort of stuff where it moved up quite nicely. Take the profits, technically take the profits, and you can start up again next week if the charts still look good. That's the best way to protect yourself, but you have to be on the ball, because remember, Dave, we are doing this on a daily charts. So you have to be here daily, looking at these charts daily.
All right, that means no golf.
Correct.
Right.
That means you have to be here and probably listen to us on a Tuesday and a Friday to talk about these stocks, where they are. Anyway, let's hope next week we're going to get another round of upside on some of these tech stocks, because it'd be nice. It'd be nice we've been suffering for such a long time. It'd be nice to have some money back in our pocket.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing it in live. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.